Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of In the Spotlight by Parking Network. Today I'm joined by Juan, Product Insight Specialist at Arrive. In this conversation, we'll be looking at how parking management is evolving into mobility intelligence, and how cities can use connected data to support their wider goals around sustainability, accessibility, and livability. Juan, it's a pleasure to be speaking with you today.
Yeah, thank you for having me today. Looking forward to having this discussion today.
For the people who might not be familiar with you yet, could you briefly introduce yourself and also tell us a little bit about the Insights team at Arrive?
Sure. My name is Juan Luna. I'm a product specialist for a solution called Insights by Arrive, which is Arrive's visual intelligence platform. Over here, we're working at the intersection of product, data, and urban mobility. And my role is to understand the operational and planning challenges faced by cities and mobility partners and translate those needs into solutions that support better informed decisions. So Insights by Arrive, it's a project that brings together data into a ready-to-use interface that help users to understand demand, uncover trends, and plan more effectively. Within my team, I believe what interests me most is how this kind of intelligence can support the wider transition toward more connected and efficient and livable cities. And this will be the main discussion topic of today.
You mentioned there are challenges faced by cities and mobility partners. Could we expand on that? Especially now, with many cities working towards their 2030 goals for more sustainable and livable urban environments, what are the biggest mobility challenges they're facing?
So I believe the central challenges is that cities are expected to achieve several objectives at the same time. So they need to reduce transport emissions and congestions, but at the same time, they need to improve how people access to urban areas and ensure that mobility policies continues to support active and attractive city centers. So these goals are closely connected, but mobility is still frequently planned and managed in separate silos. So from my perspective, cities do not necessarily lack of innovation because many already have public transport systems, parking platforms, micromobility services, among several data sources. So the biggest gap is not a lack of innovation. In my opinion, it's a lack of integration. So each mode might generate valuable information, but cities often lack a holistic macro level view of how people move, where demand is shifting, and how an intervention is one part that is happening in one part of the network may affect the rest of the system. So this creates a disconnection between the short-term operations and the long-term urban planning. So I believe over the next 5 years, cities will need to move from isolated mobility projects toward coordinated mobility strategies. And the cities that make the most progress will be those that use connected data to translate these long-term visions into practical and measurable decisions.
So you would say that currently the issue is not about the lack of data in itself, but rather the utilization of data, especially when it comes to its connection across all the different mobility modes we're talking about.
Exactly. For me, the data interoperability is the missing element within this equation. Data operability means that information from different mobility systems can be exchanged, combined, and understood in a consistent and useful way. A connected data environment can create a single source of truth and a shared and trust view that is going to support cities in their daily operations and in their strategic planning.
Now, when cities do have better mobility intelligence, how does that help them balance sustainability goals with economic vitality, accessibility, convenience, and livability for residents and also visitors?
Yeah, for me, the key is that sustainability goals need to become measurable mobility outcomes. So, as mentioned, cities might have targets to reduce transport emissions, congestion, to improve air quality, accelerate EV adoption, But they also need to know which interventions are likely to work before investing heavily in them. So better mobility intelligence can help cities establish a baseline, track progress, and measure the impact of their policies over time. For example, cities can assess whether changes to parking policy are reducing unnecessary circulation, whether the EV charging infrastructure is being placed where demand exists, or whether the curb space changes are improving access without harming local activity. So data can also help cities identify where sustainable alternatives are realistic and where accessibility constraints still needs to be considered. And this is because not every neighborhood has the same public transport coverage, the same mobility options, or population profiles. So pretty much this means that sustainability policies needs to be targeted rather than uniform. And the role of mobility intelligence is therefore not only to optimize transport operations, but it is also to help cities to make evidence-based decisions about how to reduce emissions while preserving accessibility, convenience, and economic vitality. It also creates accountability because now cities can move beyond announcing sustainability initiatives and begin demonstrating which actions are creating measurable change.
To bring the conversation back to Arrive, and especially the insight solution that you provide, how does your partnership with cities and clients help lead to a more livable city?
Sure. So at Arrive, our broader ambition is to help make cities more livable by enabling more connected and informed mobility decisions. So we believe parking data can provide valuable insights on how people move and interact with the city. However, we also believe that its full value emerges when it's placed within the wider mobility context rather than just viewed as an isolated operational dataset. So Insights by Arrive is part of that vision. It is a product that is designed to help to transport mobility and parking data into clearer intelligence for cities and mobility partners. So our objective as the Insights team is to support a single source of truth, helping to help stakeholders to understand demand, to identify trends, to evaluate performance, and make decisions based on a more complete picture. So over time, we see this contributing to a much broader ecosystem in which parking, public transport, micromobility, EV charging, and other urban services can become increasingly connected. So our aim within Arrive is not simply to provide another dashboard. It is to support the evolution toward a leading mobility platform that helps cities move from fragmented information into coordinated action. So for us, success means helping cities make better decisions. And this also means decisions that can improve accessibility, support sustainability, and create a better experience for residents and visitors. And this is how we see Arrive's role, a long-term mobility partner that gives cities and operators that visibility that they need to plan with greater confidence, coordinate services more effectively, and improve the way people experience urban mobility.
Wonderful. Thank you, Juan, for sharing these insights with us. We look forward to seeing how Insights by Arrive continues to support more connected, accessible, and livable urban environments.
Thank you so much for having me today, Manu.
And to everyone watching, thank you for joining us for this edition of In the Spotlight. We hope you enjoyed this conversation on how parking management is evolving into mobility intelligence and how better connected data can support the cities of tomorrow. Stay tuned for more conversations with the companies and people shaping the future of parking and mobility.